myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.
Hey guys, Coach Dan here. I'm a exercise and science degree holder. I am a coach and personal trainer for 10 plus years, and I have been training in gyms for over 20 years. And today I'm going to go through my push workout. I am 8 weeks into a fat loss phase, and there are some challenges arising. So this workout, you'll get to hear how I combat those challenges with my training program and stuff like that, and what I have to do to kind of keep that fat loss going while trying to retain as much muscle. So we'll go through the workout first, a push workout involving chest, shoulders, and triceps, and then we'll give a fat loss update and give you where I'm up to with that. So this workout is the same as last week, with the goal of, again, pushing for progression, pushing for keeping your performance and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, we're going incline cambered bar bench press. So the cambered bar is the bar which has the dint in it, allowing for larger range of motion lifts, and I'm going to use that on incline bench press today. That's been my go-to for the last month and a bit, I would say. Then we go horizontal machine chest press. Again, the chest press we have at this gym has a really nice big stretch, good range of motion, a slight upward arc, as my emphasis in my training at the moment, or my chest training specifically, is the upper pec. So things going up, I'm not mad at. Then after that, with the same theme in mind, we're going to set up a utility bench or a incline bench at the cable machine, and we're going to do a low to high seated cable fly using the bench for stability, slight upward angle again to be more focused on the upper pec if anything. That caps off the chest work. After that, we're then going a seated dumbbell lateral raise. Doing it on the seat just stops any kind of momentum you might create. Nothing wrong with standing variations. I just want to make sure I'm not swinging my body around, putting all the tension on my shoulders. Then we have a pretty conventional pin-loaded shoulder press machine, focusing on the anterior part of the shoulder and potentially some more of the lateral part of the shoulder. And then we finish off with some isolated tricep work, which at the moment is just a straight bar tricep push down on the cable machine, a classic and a favorite for gym goers the world over. So that will be the push workout today. Fat loss, as far as fat loss goes, we are going quite well. We are around about 8 kgs down. We've got 2 weeks to go, but I have run into a little bit of plateau, so body weight is not really shifting too much throughout this whole week or so. So there might be potential that going into the last couple of weeks, I reduce calories. I'm probably maxed out as much activity as I'm going to be able to do. I'm getting up early before work, and I'm quite busy throughout the day. So the only real way to kind of keep making progress here is to kind of reduce a little bit of food. So we shall see. Maybe I'll check in tomorrow morning. If body weight is still stable, then it will be a almost certain drop of calories to finish the last couple of weeks off. And yeah, so we keep going. I tell you what is challenging about the phase that I'm in. I'm not sure if this is for other people as well. My emotional status is like on a day-to-day basis, like up and down, up, down, up, down. So that's something to deal with. Hopefully I can not put that on the people around me, but that has been a challenge for me personally. I'm not sure if everyone else finds that, but yeah, emotionally it's a bit of a roller coaster at the moment. Some days I just cannot bear too much, and then other days happy as Larry. So, all right, let's hit it. We're going to the bench press first. Let's smash this workout out and have a good time in the process, hopefully. Let's get it. First up, we have the medium, or should I say incline cambered bar bench press. So cambered bar is the bar having this dint in it. The dint allows for an extra range of motion. So the extra range of motion, or a larger stretch, can potentially lead to some extra muscle growth. That's kind of the idea. So you don't have to kind of go to excessive lengths like this, and you might even find that this dint goes through a range of motion that you don't have in your shoulders. So in that circumstances, the straight bar does the trick. But essentially what you'll do, you'll take hand grip on the outside of that dint. Control you'll allow to go. If that was a standard bar, you would only be able to get like your hands to the level of your chest, but the fact that we have that dint in the bar allows for that extra range and bigger stretch, and hopefully that bigger stretch leads to more muscle growth. Not conclusive, but feels effective. What it also could potentially mean is that you don't need as much weight to get a similar stimulus, meaning less stress on your body overall, and that's potentially a good thing as well. All right, let's get going. Alright, next up, horizontal chest press. Try and keep the descriptions short and sharp today because the music is cranking in here and probably going to get some copyright stuff go down. So horizontal chest press, so incline on that cambered bar, big stretch. If I incline myself and I press up, we tend to use more of our upper chest, or maybe not more, but you can't use the lower chest as well. So you're getting work in the upper chest, maybe not as much into the lower or also the sternal part of your chest that's coming in here. So it's just getting more work up there and less down there, which does suit my preference. Now we go this horizontal chest press, which again has that slight arc, which again suits my preference as wanting to work more of the upper pec. This is a good machine. I've got a great feel for this one. Feels very effective. Good range of motion. You've got this foot pedal here. It's going to push. Get yourself in a position. Let that foot pedal off gently. Feel that deep stretch. Think about driving your arm, your arm essentially in towards your sternum. And then again, the weight goes forward, or the resistance goes forward, but the main job of the pec is to pull the arm across and pull it up towards the collarbone and things like that. So if you think about pulling this in while we do this pressing motion, not just pressing out, we can often get that good mind and muscle connection with the pec. All right, 2 sets here. Been rocking a top set and a back off set, and we shall keep that going. Let's get it. Next up we have the seated lower to high cable fly, or low to high cable fly. The goal here is to kind of focus more towards the upper pec. So if you think about the job of the pec, or the pectoralis major, it kind of inserts into your arm here, into the inner third of your clavicle, down through your sternum, and then onto kind of your rib cage and this kind of costal area here. So basically what it's doing is pulling your arm in those different directions, right? So if I want to focus more towards the upper pec, we're thinking about the part that attaches into the inner third of your clavicle and these points kind of going towards one another. So that might look something like that. So what we do then is set the cable a little low, and then we essentially angle and do our fly motion directly against that to, hopefully bicep more towards that upper pec. So we're going in that kind of upward direction. So I know I've set that for the last, 3 or 4 weeks now, so I know the height. I've got the bench in here for stability. What I'll do, I'll reach around, grab one handle, reach, grab the other, line that up, and then fly up and together directly against that cable. So far this has felt like an effective variation. One of the downsides to it, you could potentially say, is that I have to go and get those handles. So that might eliminate it from being a very heavy weight, because I have to reach, get one handle, reach, get the other handle. And if that's at a heavy weight, like you're doing something 6 to 8, it's going to have to be hauled into position. So I more keep this all sets here in the moderate rep range, so I can get it into position and not waste too much juice or get thrown around or anything like that too much. Maybe that's a downside if you have a real preference for the lower rep ranges, heavier weights, but I just keep it in the moderate rep range and it feels really good to me. All right, let's build them up. All right, next up we have seated dumbbell lateral raise. So I'll just use it on this bench here, leave this bench, and hopefully it doesn't look like anyone here will be using the cable machine. So we're on the seated position, in the seated position should I say, kind of avoid any momentum or anything like that created from moving your body. It's probably not a massive difference, but again, little differences make up a few percent points over time, so you may as well. So essentially we've got this pretty much upright position. I'm sort of one notch back on this bench, but pretty close to being directly upright. We find that stable position, body can't shift around, raising up. So for my version of lateral raises, they're not directly out to the side, because I always find that that kind of jams the shoulder into itself. So we're kind of out in front, 45-ish degrees, or what they call the scapular plane. So if you think front raise or anterior delt, we'll bring your arm forward and in towards the head. We're kind of getting just outside that. So if that's directly side on and that's directly front on, it's almost in between those two in that direction there. Probably makes sense across time to kind of vary the position that you put the shoulder into, and if you like the ones directly out the side, go for it. Maybe it's got some merit to do them all over time, but yeah, I'm inclined to kind of go out in that scapular plane, 45-ish degrees, feels best for me. All right, let's get our dumbbells that we'll be using, and let's go for it. All right, capping off the shoulder work with a pin-loaded shoulder press machine. So shoulder press, anterior delt's going to work plenty here. Probably a little bit of lateral side part of your delt, maybe a bit of the top part of your chest and your tricep. So I'm doing it to kind of cap off the anterior delt, but we'll also get some other stuff in there. So yeah, in some circumstances, people suggest that you don't really need too much for your anterior delt if like muscle growth or bodybuilding your goal, because it does a lot of work in the presses, incline presses, flies, things like that. The anterior delt, being that it's attached to the side of your arm and to the outer third of your clavicle, can kind of pull your arm in this kind of position. So if we did that fly from before, we probably want that kind of to uppercut yourself. When we want to go anterior delt, we're thinking above that. So it's, here, fly, upper pec. As we start to go above that, shifting to anterior delt. Now, it's not exclusively like that, and you think about your body isn't going to just go, oh, I'm only going to use that for this because he wants me to. It's going to use everything in its power to get the job done. So it's not like one switches on, one switches off. Probably just preferentially uses one over the other one when it's in a better position. So in short, we're using this for a anterior delt exercise. So we've got a shoulder press. We're going overhand. On my other day, I do a neutral grip with a plate loaded machine at a different gym. But essentially, pulling the shoulders towards your head, control it way down, pull the shoulders towards the head. Range of motion wise, that's probably a bit short for me. Take the seat up here, push it. I like this machine. You can kind of adjust this handle forward or back to kind of what lines up for you. So if I go, if you think about if this handle was too far this way, my arm will almost be angled forward, which wouldn't be super efficient because it's going back that way. So it'd almost be like rotating it back that way. Here, you can adjust it so the forearm is lined up directly under the weight and we're all pushing together. All right, let's build it on up. 2 sets here only, top set, back off set, and then we're on to triceps. Alright, finishing the workout off with some triceps. So I'm going to go, instead of our push down today, because with the push down I have to borrow a gym pin and it's always a bit of a hassle to get that off someone. So I'm going to go overhead because it's very effective. I've always liked it. I subbed it out maybe a couple of months back because my elbow was getting a little bit of grief from being in that position, that stretched out position. So we'll try this again. Very effective, but yeah, maybe it's a really tough position in like being in here because as you see, it's going to go up overhead and maybe that caused a bit of inflammation at the elbow potentially. Once I sub that out, funny enough that the pain went away. So maybe it, has to be used briefly, maybe a lower rep range, maybe less volume, we'll see. But essentially, I'm going to go straight bar. You can go rope or V-bar or whatever. We're going to take it up overhead, find that solid position, extend, flex the elbow, extend. Now our overhead variations have some potential, not better than the standard ones where we do like this, but worthwhile at least being, in my opinion, a part of the routine because the long head of the tricep passes both the elbow and also passes into the scapula. When we raise the arm up further, it stretches that out more. And there, potentially this relationship between training muscle in a stretched or lengthened position is there. So it doesn't mean these are bad. It just means, potentially in some of your training, we should go there to make sure we get that stretch through that. Yeah, and there is some direct research where they essentially did this variation with one arm and this variation with the other arm. And this variation, the overhead variation, ended up with more growth across the whole tricep, not just the long head of the tricep. So there's some direct research. There's a theoretical reason for doing it, but again, you don't have to subscribe to one or the other. You could do one in one program, next couple of months do the other. If you need 2 exercises, you could do one of each, bada bing, bada boom. There's no dogma here, you know. If one feels particularly good for you, if this fucks your elbow off, just do the standard one. You know, skull crushers are variations that you can do as well that raise the arm up a bit. So it's not one or the other, it's just that, yeah, there are some reasons to do different ones, and those are the reasons. So make your choices to what suits you, as always. All right, I've got to remember what weight I did or check my log, and then we're on. All right, that's a wrap on the push workout, guys. She's a grind. Fat loss phase, week 8, so a couple of months in, and it's pretty tough to get better. The push days particularly getting quite hard, and any progress is minimal and sometimes none per week, so it is a bit demoralizing when you're pushing really hard, but you're getting not too much back for your efforts. Anyway, fat loss is going well though, so got to be happy with that. Small adjustments maybe for the last couple of weeks, potentially a couple extra calories off the diet, but again, it's only for a short duration to see if we can't, you know, fire up that fat loss again or weight loss, as it's been kind of stalled for a little bit. So that'll do. Let's get out of here. As always, if you could hit the little subscribe up here if you like the content, that'd be much appreciated. If you want to watch something else, click this. If you like shorts and like little exercise tips, check out the shorts. And as always, it's about progress over perfection. Coach Dan, signing off.